Welcome to GD Gear. Don't forget to subscribe and click on the bell button. Hello everyone, welcome to GD Gear. Last time we left at billing alarm creation. So I'll show that first, but before that, let's look into the content that we are going to go over today. Today we are going to learn billing alarm, AWS Organization. In case you are running an organization and you have different department, how you can manage the billing part, and S3. I have few bullets: creating billing alarm, how to management for the billing for one organization, storage, basic concept on the block, file and object level, S3 in depth, and few hands-on. Let's go. Before I move to the actual topic, I have one question received from my previous video. Some of the people wanted to know more about region and availability zone. For them, just a quick look. Regions are just like physical location: New Delhi, New York, Atlanta, any of the place, this is your region. So physical location is your region. Inside region, as you can see here, inside region you have availability zone. So for example, if there is a region called in India and that's in New Delhi, like here you can see, that is my region. Inside that, how many availability zone would be, that would be decided. It could be 2, 3, 4. So based upon that, they create it. Each availability zone is basically a data center. So in New Delhi, if we have 3 availability zone, so 3 data center we have in that region. 3 of them have different types of discrete uh, establishment. For example, 3 of them have different power supply, different location, different setup, different water flow, different infrastructure, everything. The reason is that within that region, if one data center goes down, others should come up. If something has state electricity board, then other will go on to different electricity supply. The internet connectivity, the cabling, everything will go different. So that is what data center is, availability zone, and the physical locations is your region. So just a quick snap from AWS website: 24 regions we have and 76 availability zone. One local zone they have, that doesn't require though for solution architect exam. So they will not ask you how many regions, how many availability zone. They will not test your memory here, rather they will test your conceptual, how much you understood the entire concept. Okay guys, let's go back to the main topic. First, understand the storage. So S3 is a storage. So what kind of a storage it is? So if we look into common storage concept, there are 3 types of storage: file, block and object. What are they? File means something gets stored into your file. For instance, if you understand that you are saving something in a folder, one file, inside that, suppose you are creating images, then you are creating GIF, then you are creating JPEG. So this is hierarchical database. For example, one folder structure, they have multiple folder and you are saving some files. So that is very primitive method of storage, that is my file system, right? Which also called network attached storage and or NAS. So for AWS we have EFS as this kind of a file system, elastic file system. Why we use EFS? Quick understanding, highly scalable, accessible multiple time, and different user can access at the same time. So where are the cases you can use EFS or file system? Anytime you are sharing your file with multiple people, local archiving and data protection. So this is very old type of storage. Now coming back to the newest one, what S3 is currently used, that is object based storage. So object means it could be a folder, it could be a structured data, it could be unstructured data, it could be a movie file, it could be a GIF file, it could be folder into folder, anything, right? So file and object may sound similar, but they have a big difference, big architectural difference. Like the way NAS is being managed, the way the connection and everything been arranged, it's something very different into object-based storage. So S3 is your object-based storage. Big data, any web application, any backup device, all are objects. So they have place as an object. You cannot use S3 or any object database for making you as a database, installing operating system or anything. So for that you need block, which is my second box here. So which is lowest latency, high performance, and block is very good and only option for your database, email server, anything, boot volume or operating system installation. So this could be one common question, that S3, can you install operating system, can you make your database? No, S3 just like your storage into object, you cannot do anything on installation of database or something that you need block-based storage. So I hope that concept get clear. Now, quick look into this three difference from AWS website. So as I mentioned, EFS is the file, S3 is object, and EBS is the block, and few other differences, how they get charged, what are the characteristics. But you understand, anything structured, unstructured data you are saving somewhere, any static web app or something, backup archive is your S3. Anything you have boot volume, installing operating system, database, email server, that is your EBS, and file folder with multiple sharing option like image sharing or something like that, you go for EFS or NAS or file system. Hope that makes sense. So we are into the next slide. Now understand this few basics thing, and then maybe we can go to the hands-on part. So S3 is object based, we discussed. Your file size could be 0 to 5 TB. It is completely unlimited. You can upload as many files you want or you wanted to save. S3 bucket is a place where you are actually going to upload your files, creating folder like a drive, like a folder, whatever you think of. That name is universal, unique, has to be globally unique. For example, if I'm choosing GD Gyan, if somebody else already created that bucket with that name, I cannot create with that name. It has to be unique. The reason, the same bucket can be accessed through a website, I mean kind of a URL. You can see here I have given a link, s3-zone name and then amazonaws.com/my bucket name GDGAN. Okay, once you upload anything, so this could be one of those questions. I mean, all the point that I mentioned could be a probable question for you. Anytime you upload a file, successful, unsuccessful, you get a HTTP return code 200 means successful write. You can load S3 a big file by enabling multi-part, so it will go part by part. So, and one more thing, as I mentioned always, S3 FAQ is the most important FAQ in the Amazon website. You should read before you attempt the exam. This is one point that should have one question out of it, like read after write consistency for the puts of new object. So any file that you are uploading, immediately you would be able to see it. For that it needs, anything you are uploading or saving into S3, you would be able to see it immediately. But anything you are updating, eventual consistency for override, puts and delete, anything you are updating, modifying that or deleting, that going to take some time. Immediately you may not be able to see the results. So read this thing very carefully and keep it saved somewhere. Coming back to encryption or the security part, it has three types of security. One is the in-transit security, like you browse any website, HTTPS, so SSL, TLS, that security it maintained. So in transit, you should not have any issue with your file, your data. And at rest, so when you are saving something at AWS website end, is your data secure? Yes, they have three types of method. S3 manage key, the key that you are using for the encryption, so S3 would manage that. AWS managed key, where you can manage the key which is being created by the AWS, and server side encryption, where you or me or the customer is providing the key. And of course, you can do your client side encryption as well, and you can upload the file. You are doing your encryption at your end, your local desktop or your server, and uploading into S3. Okay, S3 billing, right? So S3 billing depends upon, of course, the storage, how much storage you are going, how much time you are putting the file or retrieve the file, data transfer, and management and application. We have a link to detail to understand. There would be question like they will not ask you how much it will going to charge. I have uploaded 5 times, downloaded it this time. They will not ask you that kind of a question, but there would be conceptual question on the overall architecture, like they are setting up something, some company upload a file lot, how much they would be charged. So based upon that thing, you should understand whether there is a charge applicable, whether it is not. Now, as S3 act as a storage, you can use as a static website. So I have given you two links how the website looks. For example, you created one bucket, you kept one index.html where you said, hello, this is GD Gyan, this is my activities, these are my videos. That is something static website you wanted to show. So the name would be your bucket name, which is gdgan.s3-website-region.amazonaws.com, or this one, depending upon the region that you are choosing, which region you are creating. Based upon that, it will get changed. So this is also one of those common questions that comes. I will quickly switch into AWS website page, and I wanted to show you the billing method. So these are the 4 points we discussed: pricing, storage. So you can understand that 50 TB, different types of S3 class also mentioned that I am going to discuss now. But you just look into this pricing, that how and when they are charging, retrieval method for different S3 types of storage, data transfer. So you see, up to 1 GB data transfer is free. So you should understand this facts and figure. That's going to have some architectural question on that. Okay, going back to my PPT. So as I mentioned, I'm going to discuss about types of S3, how many S3s are there: S3 standard, S3 intelligent tiering, S3 standard, IA, infrequent access, S3 one zone infrequent access. So these are the basically your 4 types of storage. I'll come to the glacial part later. So S3 standard shows you the best storage method. Definitely it is the costlier one out of this other three. You see something, the durability and availability, right? 11 nines of durability and 99.99% of availability. They ask question around that. So what is the durability percentage? What is the availability percentage, like that? So what does that mean? So durability means losing your data. So data protection. So the more durable it is, the better the data of yours is safe. So 11 nines of data which ensure that almost no failure of your data. You should be confident that your data is safe there. Availability is that how fast or how what is the uptime for the data. So you understand this two concept now, right? So S3 standard is your standard storage. Uh, I mean, it has multiple facilities designed such a way that it maintain the consistency and redundancy. So it gets stored into multiple facilities. Intelligent tiering, I'll come it later, but let's talk about S3 standard IA. So standard IA is infrequent data, something you are not accessing very frequently. You can use this kind of a storage. So your cost will definitely go down, but you'll save some money over there. S3 one zone infrequent access, which is same like IA with a much more lower the cost, but it also ensure your data that it doesn't have multiple availability zone. So data is not being saved into multiple AZ. So it is only one zone where standard IA and standard you have saved into multiple IA, multiple AZ. So intelligent tiering is designed something automatically your data would be moved to one storage type to another storage type based upon the access. So it is something AWS also recommend, and its price is also same like S3 standard. So it is also advised that you should use that. Glacial and deep archive glacial are archiving method of AWS. So something you are archiving your data and you do not want to worry about accessing it very frequently, so you choose S3 glacial. So what is the retrieval time for that? From minutes to hour. And even if you want much more cheaper one, so deep archive S3 glacial, which takes 12 hours of retrieval time is 12 hours. So that is the lowest of cost. So you can see the cost wise S3 standard, S3 intelligent tiering remains same. S3 standard IA cheaper, S3 one zone IA more cheaper. Glacial and deep archive are archiving storage, so it cannot be used for the regular purpose because the retrieval time is high. Glacial is minutes to hour, and where deep archive is approximately 12 hours. Okay, so let's go to the next slide then. So I think our slides ends here, and let's go back to the hands-on part. So before that, I have opened this S3 storage class and different types of, if you wanted to read that to understand what kind of storage it is, that is always there. Now, before I go to S3 hands-on, we'll just quickly create a billing alarm. Last time I couldn't create it because it needed 24 hours to get your CloudWatch to activate. So we discussed CloudWatch is the service which will create or watch your billing. There are many such services. I have one video which will come at the end. I'll just quickly discuss about what this service does, and that should be enough for your exam as well. So I'm going to CloudWatch now. I just clicked on that. Bear with me, my internet connection goes a little slow here. So what we are going to do, we are going to create one alarm which will show us that at certain rate, if something is going higher, so I should be able to uh, get an alarm for that. So how to create that? Okay, so let's create a billing alarm. I've logged into the CloudWatch, right? I open the service, click on billing. It will load the billing page, and once it is loaded, you can see it's still getting loaded. Yeah, create alarm, right? You get 10 free alarm and 1000 free email notification each month as part of AWS free account. Could be one viable question for you. So we understand this. I mean, each of the service that you are using, you need to understand the billing method, because being an architect you should understand how much your company going to pay. So when you are going to design it for them, create alarm, click on that. So here let it come. So currency is USD, so period is 6 hours, so statistics maximum. Here you can choose your threshold, for example greater than $10. If anything comes, I want my uh, alarm to be generated, right? And I can choose every hour, every day. Maybe I can choose a day. I don't want I mean like that. So there are additional information, but I think we can skip that part. It's not needed. So click on next. Now you need to create, so this is like the metric or expression. So these are the triggers. Okay, when your expression is within the threshold, insufficient data. So you're going to see these three types of notification on the page. So you need to create if you have a topic already created, that's fine. Otherwise, so simple notification services we're going to discuss at the end, not in this scope, but at the end of this course. So create a new topic. So maybe give it a default name and give my email address, right? So I'm just not typing it here. Create topic and add notification. So that will make it your alarm to be created, right? So that's it, guys. Now, one more thing that wanted to show, that AWS organization. For example, that let me open a Word document. For example, that you have one organization where you have three application team, right? One is finance, one second is merchandise, and third one is the retail. So being and you moved everything into cloud, now you have a big question that how I'm going to manage all these things. I mean, I don't know who's spending how much, who's doing what. So for that, this AWS organization concept comes. So this is a root account, and anything beyond that, so maybe as I mentioned, so suppose if you have uh, three three other accounts, so they goes down here. So maybe HR, finance, and your store, right? So you have three AWS account, AWS account, and they create their own resources, EC2, S3, whatever resources they want, they created. Now you created one new account, you call it as a root account. This account only will be used for managing the other account, controlling the other account. We are not going to create an EC2 instance from this account. So managing the other account, what is the benefit? So suppose you can do the consolidated billing. For example, whatever consumption for HR account, finance account, store, they all get clubbed. And when you get everything clubbed, your volume increase and you get a discount benefit on that. So that gives one benefit. Second is that you do not want HR to use particular service. You want only them to use EC2 and S3. You can restrict that. So from the root account, you can manage that. So you don't have to log into HR. You don't have to ask that HR share your root account password. Let me log in as a root for HR. You don't need to do that. Being a master account, you can control them. How you are going to do that? Let's see this one. You type here organization. Yeah, AWS organizations. Let it open, and the same thing you can find it here as well if you click on after this GD Gyan, my organization. So the same thing shows over there as well. So you click on either of this. Let it come. So if you click here, you can see my organization. So this takes you to the same page. Now you need to create one organization. So suppose you have three different AWS account. You created one more account, and this is you call as a root account or organization account. So I am into that account now. Consider that. Create organization, so you understand, provide single pair centralized cost tracking, lets you create invite account, allow you to apply policy based control, what I mentioned, right? So create organization. I'm not going to create because I only have one account and that is in the free tier, right? So I'm not going to do that. So the moment I click on that, my GDGAN account is a root account and I am the created my organization. So verification email has been sent to me. So I have to verify that. If I don't do that, it will not get created. Now add account. So now I need to add or ask HR, finance, and my store AWS account as a child account to this one. So how to do that? I can invite them or if I'm going to do it as a fresh for a new organization, I can create them. So you got this thing, right? When I click on invite, it will ask for email ID. So I have not clicked on my verification email ID, so I have to do that. I'm not going to do that. But if you click on invite account, it will ask you the account, the account you're trying to invite, their email ID. Once you do that, they will receive an email, they have to accept it, and after that, if they create any user, you can be able to control it from here. You can define your policy over here the way you did in the first session to the IM. This question is not going to come, but you should know, being part of AWS organization. Thank you guys. Let's go back to straight to S3. I think we have taken good enough of time on these topics, but these are quite required, so I thought of covering it now. The time it takes to load the page, I'll just quickly talk about few of the service: Snowball uh, or Storage Gateway. Those are the things, they don't have much content to come for solution architect exam, so that I'm going to cover later part of the session. I'm going to have one module only for explaining all the services, which is not very vital and which doesn't come uh, much with hands-on knowledge. So the one that covers your hands-on knowledge is EC2, storage, database, network, your IAM, and your architecture knowledge, your billing part, all those things that I'm going to cover in detail in the 6 modules. Okay, guys, so we have come to S3 page. Let's create a bucket. We discussed that, right? That it is a universal namespace. So I'm creating it in the region Virginia. Okay, so GD Gyan I have entered as the bucket name, as it is a universal namespace, so it has to be unique. It has to be unique across all the accounts and everywhere globally. Now, one interesting thing before we create the bucket, you see here it's global, and you remember when we were into IAM, that was also global. So these are the few services which is global service. Even though I'm into North Virginia region in the first page when I selected, if you go back to the video, you can check that. But when I came to S3, it is showing global. Okay, guys, let's go back. Now, second option is block all public access. So this is very interesting thing, but I'll show you little late, not now. But for now, I access it's all block for all the public access. I'm not giving any public to access my S3 bucket, as simple as that. Let's go to create bucket. Okay, GDGAN is not there. GDGAN 1. It's my GAN. How come somebody can copy this one? That is also not there. 2. Is that so popular? It's not there. 3. My gosh. 8.4 maybe. Okay, bucket name must not contain uppercase character. Okay, that could be the reason. GD Gyan 8.4. I'm sure we should be able to get this bucket. Yeah, it is getting created. Let it be created, and then we try to upload some file, and we just navigate through some of the option to S3, and we should be good. My internet connection is slow. Here you go. My bucket is now created. GDGAN84. You see it? It's showing the region North Virginia only, but it shows global here. Remember this. This is very important thing. So access is not public. Bucket created. Date and time is also given. Now let's try to go inside this bucket. I'll try to upload some file, and so let's upload that. If you want, you can create folder also, right? So let's upload some file. Add file. what to upload. Let's see some picture, some of my daughter's picture. Yeah, this one I like most. Okay, so next, now it is asking a lot of different options whether I wanted to give the permission read write. I wanted to give permission to other AWS account on this file. So I'm just going default. I'm not choosing anything right now. Okay, this is important thing. What kind of storage class that you are choosing? Standard, intelligent tiering, standard IA, one zone IA, or something like that. So maybe I'll go for one zone IA, right? Okay, let's go that, or maybe I'll keep it standard for now. Next, upload. So one thing I wanted to mention, file storage and object storage, right? Normally file storage doesn't have metadata. You don't have that option for the metadata, but object storage, which is S3, they have metadata. But EFS being a file system storage also, they have this metadata tagging option in cloud. So just a point came to my mind, so thought of sharing. Now let's click on that. Let's see, I got a link here. You see it? Okay, just read through it. gdgan84 my bucket name.s3 amazonaws.com slash the file name, right? Now let's copy this one and try to open it out. Open. Oh, what is this error? So it's showing that doesn't have permission access denied. Why? Now I'll show you. You remember that when we created this thing, we given the permission, right? I mean, the permission we selected, not public, something like that. So okay. So now let's try to give the permission. Okay. So we tried to open the file and it is not opening. We need to come to the permission, then block public access. Come here, click on edit, remove this thing. So save it. Here you need to type confirm just to ensure that it is you really wanted to do that. There are other options also you can choose, but let's go this one to just show that whether it's showing. Copy this one, cut it short, paste. I don't know what's the option, why it is not opening. It should be opening. Just check one more time. Okay, here you go. We're able to see this thing. So just I made this thing public and we able to open this file. So that's it guys. I'll delete this file and folder. I don't want it to pay anything back, but before that just quickly go over the other features that we have in S3. Click on properties. You do see versioning. You can so suppose if I click on that, I can either enable the versioning or suspend it. I cannot. So suppose if I'm enabling it and I do not have option to suspend it. I mean disable it. I only can suspend or enable. So let's do that. I'll show you how that works. Server access log. I mean, in case you wanted to enable the logging for some other services to uh, get details like something you wanted to monitor your S3, any kind of audit. Website hosting in case you wanted to host one website. So we discuss about this as well, right? That what would be the endpoint. Excuse me. So gdgan84, my bucket name .s3 website, region name .amazon.com. So I'm not doing it right now, and these options are okay. Let's go to this one, transfer acceleration. So let's understand this first. Let me have some water in between. So what is transfer acceleration? So if you enable, or before that, enable or disable, before that, let's click on that. Let's see how it happens. So we know about the edge locations, right? So we know about region, availability zone, and we discussed that. And there is something called edge location. So apart from regions and availability zone across globe, there are few more. So if I go back to my PPT, so there are few location which is called edge location. So for example, uh, this is something I'm trying to upload my file or download my file, and what would be the, so it is trying to calculate for all the different region how much time they you going to take, because my file is located in North Virginia. Somebody from Frankfurt or Tokyo, how much time they are going to take it to upload or download. So to make this thing easy, right, so what it's done, so let's go back to this map. So you can see 96 direct connect location and 216 points of presence. So these are our edge locations. So other than this region and availability zone, there are multiple points. So for example, my region in India is in New Delhi. So there are, let's assume there is two edge location, one is Chennai and one is Kolkata. So suppose somebody is uploading one file, and my region I have selected New Delhi. Somebody uploading the file directly to New Delhi is going to take some time, rather than uploading it to Kolkata edge location, and from edge location it will get uploaded into the actual region. So this is what transfer acceleration means. So you see it 75% slower. So San Francisco it is very fast, other region it is trying to calculate. So that is what transfer acceleration, and I think that's good enough for solution architect course. I am going to, I enable this versioning, I'll show you that permission. So block level access, we just remove this public access part, right? Then it has access control list. So where uh, you can control the access for particular object inside the file, inside the bucket. Bucket policy is something that you can define on the bucket level. So access control list could be object level, and bucket policies could be your bucket level. Course configuration, it is not relevant for your solution architect exam, so it's not going. But if you wanted to just look at it, cross region origin sharing defines the way client to application that loaded one domain to interact a source with different domain. Okay, going to the management life cycle, it's very important thing and it will come to the question. So let's create one life cycle rule, give it a name as test. So what is actually life cycle? For example, you have a website to uh, credit card bill generation, right? And your credit card bill is only relevant when the current month. People will not access their historical credit card bill very frequent. So you are saving everything into standard storage, standard S3 bucket, but after 1 month you don't want it to keep it into standard, you wanted to either move it to glacial or something. So that is what life cycle. So when you wanted to define that I'm doing it for all the objects. Next, when you want to define that, okay, I wanted to move this particular file to different folder or different types of storage. So I'm doing it for current version, add transition. So something it mentioned, transition to standard IA, intelligent tiering, one zone tiering, or glacial, right? So maybe I can do it one zone tiering after 30 days, and then next current version, I wanted to delete it after some time, 395 days, or I can even not selecting this one and leave it is. So leave as it is. So clean up incomplete file part, that is also one option, and that also comes into your question. So you understood this life cycle rule, right? I'm not going to create that. Replication. So replication is something you wanted to share your file. Suppose you created a file into North Virginia, and somebody in Australia, they are, I mean, you have two websites, one hosted in North Virginia, and another website is also hosted, same website, another VM is into Australia. So now you, instead of having the bucket shared between both the thing, you wanted to create two bucket, one for North Virginia, one for Australia. So, but you wanted to ensure that you don't have to upload same file into both the places. So that's what the replication comes. Anything you upload into bucket A, your parent bucket, that will automatically go into your bucket B. So does everything go into replication? So that is few question that comes. So suppose in bucket A, I already have three files. I enable my replication now to bucket B. Will this three file move to bucket B? No. From the replication time onwards, it will only move, not the other one. If you delete any version from bucket A, will that delete from bucket B? No. So these are the few questions that comes, but that definitely going to help you from the FAQ. I'm not going to do it in a detail, otherwise it is going to be a very longer session. So I can do entire bucket, I can do based upon a tag, right? So just wanted to show that. Go to next. Your bucket name, the one you wanted to make replication, your bucket name into another account. So you have to do this hands-on so that you'll understand what kind of question they are going to ask. Analytics, it doesn't require as of now. Metrics, you can have a look, but it is not relevant for this exam. Inventory, same goes like this way. Access point, uh, if you wanted to create some access point for another API call or something, that you can do. We'll cover that later. Quickly, we'll cover that later. Okay, let's go back to our bucket, and let me create a notepad. Type this is version 1. Save it. Save as 1 1.txt into documents. Okay, now let's go back to this one. I have enabled the versioning, you remember, right? So let's go back to this one, try to upload that file. Let's select, I think it is in documents, 1.txt. Next, I'm not choosing anything but wanted to show you something. uh, Public, do not create public. Okay, so okay, I'm just keeping it standard storage. And I just wanted to show you this one that I didn't show in the last one. Encryption, I mentioned, right, that none, S3 managed key or AWS managed key. So I'm just doing it none. So wanted to show you that. So okay, so it should be uploaded in few seconds. Let's refresh this one. Okay, you see 100% success. So it's HTTP 200 code that I was saying, right? It always returns something to your okay, I have this. So now let's open this one, this text file. Same. If I don't, so I need to make it public so that I can see it. So one is bucket policy, one is the bucket policy, and second is your ACL object level policy. So I declared the bucket as public, but these objects are all not public. So this is version 1. Now let's come to here. Okay, so I was just wanted to show you that you see it for Frankfurt it is slower. So you need to, if you add some edge location for the Frankfurt, your access to the file would be faster. So this is what the transfer acceleration is needed for. I'm closing it. Okay, now let's go back. GDGAN 84, size is 17. Right, so let's go to the documents. Where is that? Okay, same file I'm going to just update. This is version 2. Hello, save it, and I'm going to upload it. I'm not changing the name and just uploading it. I'm not checking any other thing else. So just uploading it. You see it started. So once 2 success, 100%, 3 success. So 3 files we have uploaded total. A quick refresh will show me the file. So you see it, it was 17 KB, now it's showing 26 KB. So 12:48, so it is current time, so it is uploaded. So now if I refresh this one, I would be able to see the, okay, I need to give access here as well, right? Make public. Okay, you see it. Now the interesting part is that where is my other version? I mean, that should be your question. You click on here, show, you see it. You do see 2 files. Another one, first one is the 17 and then 626. So this is what the versioning means. So you maintain all the versions and the same name, but as architect you have to be careful in case it's a large file. You enable the versioning, it is going to exponentially occupy all your storage, so you need to be careful. Okay friends, so whatever thing I have created here, I'm going to just delete it out. I just don't want to keep it as it is and pay for it. I'll not go for that. But in between, if you have any question, if you wanted to, if you want some of the topic you want to explain me, well, then I can do it. Just put that into your comment section. So I just need to empty this file folder and then only we can delete it. Confirm bucket name. Okay, so gdgan84, gdgan84. So anything you want me to explain, let me know. I'll do that in my next video. Every week I'm trying to upload one so that we can cover in 6 weeks the entire AWS within 3 hours. So I'm just trying to make it short, crisp, so that you can refer. Stay tuned, stay in touch, stay connected. Happy learning. Bye all. Please like, subscribe, share. Thanks for watching.